Are we live?
Yeah.
Oh, we're live.
We're live.
We're live.
I'm live.
But we're not really live. Because
We're
we're
not.
actually recording
We're
this. I mean, we are
taping.
live, but we're not really live. Does
We're
that
not.
make sense? I
Because
don't
we're
know.
taping this.
We're taping this. So,
Right.
yeah.
You just blew my mind.
Yes, I know. It's amazing, isn't it? So, well, happy Thursday, everybody. We're
Yes.
excited to be here again.
Woo.
We're hoping, actually, not in a bad way, but we're hoping this is the last time that we have to
We are
record
hoping.
a show, right? We're hoping that we can go live next week. Of course, we'll see.
Yeah.
Got a couple things that have to be fall into place before we can do that. 1390 has to come back to us, and we
Right.
got to get that part for that, which we know about.
Yep.
And then also we need to finish the multipurpose room, which I think the multipurpose room looks like
I think that's
gonna
right
be
on
okay.
track. Yes, I'm not worried about that part now. It's the spectrum side of it. So.
Yeah, we were.
Worried
We'll
about
see.
Spectrum?
Yeah, go figure,
I
right?
know, it's a shocker.
Yeah, go figure. But
Yep.
we were listening to music coming up from the NPR from under our feet today in our
Mhm.
office, and
Sounded really good.
sounded pretty good.
It did.
So we're very excited about the changes to the multipurpose room.
Mhm.
So, but it's Thursday, and we got Ken today.
Yes.
Excited about having our chaplain here with us today. He's got another round of exciting jokes to share with us today.
Yes. Stunningly exciting.
And I think you're going to have quotes from another famous person. Is that
I
right?
do. I have my famous person for the week.
Famous person for the
Oh.
week. Okay. Is it Michelle Jones by any chance? Is that who that
No,
is?
she's next week.
She's next
Next
week.
week.
Okay. Oh, so
We
this
were
must be
live.
Brian Stroud then today.
No.
No, not
Yeah.
Brian today.
He's not old enough.
Oh, he's not
to
old
have
enough.
a collection of wisdom sayings. But I'm sure it will be soon.
I'm sure.
Someday.
I'm sure.
Yep.
Well, we switched the microphones around today to see if that would help a little bit. We've
Right.
had just some folks
Still
that have
getting some
shared
feedback
they
that-
said, especially I think with me, for whatever reason, my voice
Right.
seems to, and I think it was because I was wearing that lapel mic.
I think so, too.
Like this, and when I would turn, you probably couldn't hear me as well. So
Right.
we're hoping that having the mics will help with that. So, okay, well let's get into the coronavirus stuff. The big news today is what the governor shared yesterday, and so quite honestly, I'm just going to say it. It's about time. I've been waiting for the governor to be able to come back and say that we have to have the mandatory masks, because to me, that was the answer and has been the answer in other states, and so I'm happy. I personally am happy that he did this yesterday, because I think this is really going to help us start keeping our numbers down. And if we ever want to get into the next phase of this, phase 3, we ever want to open up our gym again and these
Right.
places, we gotta do what we gotta do. So, okay, with that in mind, let's just go through the statistics today. This is as of this morning, so we don't have actually today's statistics. This is yesterday's, but let's see. As of yesterday, we had 791,285 completed tests. That's 33,940 more than it was 2 days ago. So we're still averaging between 16 and 17,000 tests a day. That's a lot of tests. We have 56,174 confirmed cases here in North Carolina. That's 2,569 cases since Tuesday. So when you do that math and take that 2,569 cases divided by the number of tests that we've done in the last 2 days, it comes out to 7.6%. And if anybody watched the governor yesterday and watched Dr. Mandy Cohen, you'll realize that what they're wanting to see is that I think the number of tests are okay, the number of tests that we're doing on a daily basis is where they want us to be, but they want to see that rate actually down closer to the 5% is what they want to see. And so the fact that we're 2.5%, 3% above that, indicates to them, and rightfully so, that there's a problem. And so obviously that's what led to this. But unfortunately, we've had 48 more deaths since Tuesday. We're at 1,271 in the state. And we've also seen an increase in the hospitalizations, and I think that was another tidbit from the from the conversation yesterday from the governor, was the number of hospitalizations going up. And so we're at 906 as of today. That's 36 more than what we were on Tuesday. So hopefully now with wearing the masks, that will help to start bringing that number back down again. At least that's what I'm hoping, and I think that's really going to happen. But as you all heard, the governor said that we're going to stay in phase 2 where we are now. He's added the masks back in, and that 3 weeks from now, he'll look at it again and kind of see where we are, and if the numbers are coming down, I think then we can do some more things. If the numbers are not getting to where they need to be, we're gonna be in phase 2 for a while, and so we're just gonna have to kind of endure that. Okay, looking at just the nursing home and retirement community side of this, if you add up the number of cases in nursing homes and retirement communities, we're at 5,485. That's 5,485. That's 94 more than what we were on Tuesday. And as a percentage of the total cases, it keeps dropping. We've actually dropped below 10% now. We're at 9.8%. And so I still think that's a reflection of a lot more people outside, obviously, outside of nursing homes or retirement communities are getting it. But I think it also has a reflection on the fact that we're doing very good infection control in nursing homes and retirement communities, and we need to, like we have here with our requiring masks. We've been requiring masks since pretty much day one almost, it seems like. Finally, I think the rest of the state is going to start catching up to us here. So, but we've also had, unfortunately, 754 deaths. Of the 1,271, 754 have come from nursing homes and retirement communities. That's 59%. So we just continue to run right around that 60% mark. And then we saw a small increase in the number of outbreaks in the congregate living areas, which is the nursing homes and residential care facilities, where you have 170. That's a +3 over what we were on Tuesday. Remember, on Tuesday it had actually gone down a couple from the week before, but that's going to probably bounce back and forth. So that's kind of the statistics for the coronavirus for now. But I'm just going to say again how important it is for residents and staff. When you're off this campus, especially when you're on this campus, I feel pretty good that everybody's doing really good about wearing their masks. I'm not seeing a whole lot of issues with residents who aren't wearing their masks appropriately and in the right places, and same thing with the staff. So that's good. But I would caution you when you go off this campus, we just had a report the other day, and I won't mention any names, but we know it was a resident, and it was witnessed by a staff member, a very competent staff member, who just said they saw a resident who was at a store and had approached somebody in the parking lot and was not wearing their mask, and this person had a baby, and gushing over the baby, and
touching the baby,
and touching the man, and
right.
We don't know if there was a family connection there or not, but I think it's easy to lose your guard or let your guard down when you leave the campus here, and you can't let your guard down, folks. We got to make sure that we keep our guard up here and protect our residents and staff here. So we've been very fortunate. We've only had the 2 positive cases so far. We know we might have a third one. We're not sure. We have somebody that has been gone. Another situation where healthcare dining employee has not been here for over a week, and this person's brother has been tested positive, and so we think there's a good chance that maybe that she is as well, but we don't have the test results back yet, so that's not a confirmation yet. But even if it was a confirmed one, this would be very similar to the one we just had, and we would not be doing any additional testing through Guilford County. We're sure that Guilford County would tell us, health department would tell us not to do testing at this point, and just monitor for signs of symptoms. But again, I think we've been very fortunate here. I mean, the good Lord has blessed us, Ken, here at River Landing. Even though we've had a couple of cases, it's been very contained and isolated.
Yes.
We know one of our sister communities especially has had our first resident that has tested positive, and they are in testing mode over there, and it's not an easy situation to find yourself in, and it's very traumatic and very hard and stressful on the staff there at this community. We've been trying to send them good thoughts from us here and good wishes, but it's very hard on the residents and staff when you start doing that and you have to do a lot of testing, and so want to do our best to try and keep it out of here. And I think I'm hoping that the good Lord's going to bless us with a vaccine here before too long, or some sort of antibodies or something. But we're just going to have to be in this for a while. And I really foresee us being in this until the end of the calendar year. I think it's going to take at least that long for them to come up with a vaccine that's going to work for us, and that might even be optimistic. I don't know, but I'm trying to be optimistic. So, so things that, group activities that we were looking to maybe do in the fall, there's starting to be some question about whether or not we really can do them or not, or how we can modify them. So we'll just have to see. No decisions yet. We got a little bit of time to make decisions on some of that stuff, but not probably enough said about the coronavirus. But just I think it's important for all of us to just we got to keep it in our minds. As much as everybody's done with this and wants to move on, and believe me, folks, I am the first one with you in regards to that. I really can't wait for this to be gone. But the reality is we can't let go of this yet, and we've got to be able to be safe, and we've got to protect this community. So thank you for all your efforts in that regard. Mm-hmm. Okay, Lisa, I'm sorry, I get off my soapbox here.
No, that was great. So along with that, the reminder of the 3 W's.
Yes.
So the mask, you hit on that one.
Yes.
Waiting the 6 feet distance, that's a biggie.
6 feet social distance. Yep.
Wash and sanitize your hands.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
All of those are still very important to be doing.
And we have a lot of sanitizing units around the campus.
We do.
So feel free to use them. That's a good thing to be able to use those.
Yep.
And I don't know about you, but my hands get raw sometimes when I'm washing them so much, but it's a good thing. I mean, we got to keep our hands clean. So.
My wife makes me wash and sanitize all over, not just my hands.
I understand that.
Yeah. Used to be only on Saturday nights. But...
No, it's all the time.
Yeah.
Should I even ask why Saturday nights, or should I not go there?
That was the tradition. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Tradition.
All right.
One time a week.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
It was so you'd be clean for Sunday morning church.
Absolutely.
I
get that.
I got it. I would almost say it should be Sunday morning before you go into church, but that's okay. Saturday night's close enough.
That
I
works.
guess. That works. That works. Okay. What else we got, Lisa?
Just another reminder about outdoor groups. So we've gotten some more requests lately, Tom, related to we want to get groups together.
Yeah.
And we all know there's still the 25-person limit, so the governor did not change that.
No.
But he did say that masks are required even if you're outside in a group where you can't socially distance.
Yeah, if you can't stay 6 feet apart.
Right. So I know some folks are planning events and things like this, but if you can't maintain that 6 foot distance in your approved group, then people need to be wearing masks.
Yeah.
So to me, maintain your 6 foot distance would be the better option.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind when you're gathering in groups, even if that's driveways or wherever that is, the Williams Pavilion down there,
Right.
those kind of things, just keep that in mind. Even when you're outside, the social distance is still required. When you're walking, let's say you're walking with a friend, you still want to maintain that 6 foot distance.
Right.
And if you can't, you're supposed to be wearing a mask, but if it was me, I think I'd go with maintaining the 6 foot distance.
Yeah.
Because I can't imagine exercising in a mask. That would be a challenge.
The hard part about this is we're allowing folks to dine together.
We are.
So,
we are.
I mean,
But you're choosing that group.
You're choosing that group.
Right.
And Lisa, I think it could almost be said that if you're walking with somebody, you're walking with the same person every day, how is that any different? And so, I kind of go back and forth on that, right? So we know what the governor's order is, and so we obviously are going to promote the governor's order.
Right, absolutely.
But you all are big girls and boys, and you can make your own decisions when it comes to that. But we are not going to promote things that really go against what the governor is saying, right?
And 6 feet, that's an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
So maintain 6 feet when you're in groups.
Okay. So that's good.
We have
Good education there.
a couple questions.
Couple questions.
Okay.
All right.
And talking about groups, this is a question I didn't put down, but we've had several people ask about the Olympics, Tom.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that you just mentioned that we don't know yet.
We don't know
Gatherings
yet.
like that, we don't know.
Personally, I think I love the Olympics. I mean, it's a chance for the
Absolutely.
communities to come together. It's a fun time for fellowship. But honestly, if I was to put my lens, what's going to be in October versus what it is now, that's 3 months away. It's hard to say. If things don't change drastically between now and then, I can tell you right now, there won't be Olympics at this point. There's just not a way to do that.
Sure.
Anything that we have large group activities, if we're still kind of fooling around with phase 2 here at this point, it's just not going to happen.
Sure.
And even if we, and I think it's fair to say this, even if we are in phase 3 and the numbers increase a little bit, we may still feel that that's not an adequate reason to be able to bring a large group of residents
Sure.
together from different communities. It just,
Right.
that may not be the right decision to make, but I want to temper that. That decision has not been made yet.
Right.
We don't feel like we need to make that decision just yet. We can wait a little bit longer to make that decision.
Okay, another good question. How much money has been raised for the Staff Assistance Fund related to hardships due to COVID-19?
Yeah, so thank you for that question. And I've probably been a little bit lax on that because I think I was supposed to be giving updates on a regular basis. So I'm glad somebody asked that question.
I did.
Thank you for kind of keeping us on task there. But our good accountant here, Michelle Jones, keeps track of all the donations that are coming in for the River Landing staff. And remember, for River Landing residents that give money to this, it is used specifically for River Landing staff. And so since we started this fund, we've collected $20,800, which is wonderful, wonderful, very generous. And we have had now 11 staff members who have asked for funds to be distributed from that. And as of today, $7,500 of that $20,800 has been distributed to staff members. So it's a good bit of money that's been given and a good bit of money that's already been given out. And we know of other staff members who really are just starting to realize that there's money that they could tap into.
Right.
So I feel like we're going to have more staff members asking for these funds. But isn't it great? And what a wonderful thing it is to be able to say to these staff members and to see how excited they are when they get their checks.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's really a great thing. So, in just a couple seconds on process, the staff fill out a form that is available to them. That form is received by us and sent to our committee that's made up of corporate folks, and they decide the merit of the request and how much should be given to that. And it's been varying amounts based upon need and situation.
What would some of the reasons be, Tom?
Yeah, so I mean, I think some of the easier ones to say are a couple staff members, several of the staff members have said that they lost their second income, because they can't work at another
Right.
nursing home or retirement community as a second job. And so they've lost that ability to get that second income.
Their spouse lost
Their
their job.
spouse has lost their job.
I've heard
That's another one. Yes, Ken, exactly. Sometimes it's even a medical bill that they just haven't been able, because of a COVID-19 situation, they haven't been able to be able to pay a medical bill, or they need help with paying some sort of bill. So it's been very sporadic, but it's probably been 3 or 4 main categories, I would
Sure.
say, that the funds have been distributed for. But it's been a real blessing, and so thank you for all those residents who have donated towards that. Thank you so much for doing that. And even beyond COVID-19, hopefully, if we still have funds left over in this account, we will continue to use these for staff needs ongoing.
Sure.
I just think it's a really nice thing to be able to
It's a
have.
great thing.
We started it because of COVID-19, but my feeling is, there's always a staff member that has a financial issue that comes up that, if they could tap into some of these funds, that would be great. So, again, thank you.
Okay, last question. Why are the hybrid apartments called hybrid? With what are the apartments crossed to produce a hybrid?
Oh, yeah.
Gasoline and battery, right? I have a Prius. I mean,
That's the car.
The cars work that way.
This is the apartment building.
Okay.
Yeah, it's probably the same premise, isn't it? This gas and, it's gotta be, right? No, it's funny, the hybrid was a term that we utilized when we were starting to develop these units. And we had heard this through other folks in our industry, that they have kind of referred to them as hybrid units. And I think because it was new to our industry, this type of congregate living piece of what we have here, the hybrid thought was just, okay, so it's a cross between our apartments that we have now and the cottages. And so, it's like, oh, okay, so the size of the hybrid apartments are about the size of our cottages, but they're in an apartment setting. So
Sure.
kind of a hybrid between what we typically have as far as cottages and apartments. And so I just personally I have kind of liked the name hybrids, and it's just stuck with me, and so we've kind of been using that on and off again when we refer to it. Now we can call them Aberdeen or Turnberry because that's the name of their apartment buildings, but old habits are hard to die.
Yes.
And so for me,
Yes.
you'll hear me refer to them as hybrids from time to time.
Sure.
And even the structure of the units themselves, the financial structure is a little bit different with the meals, and so that's, and whether or not gas and electric is paid for them or not.
Sure.
So their structure is a little bit different than either one of the other, the cottages or the apartments.
And
So
the
that's why-
underground parking,
And the underground
that's
parking.
a nice feature
Yeah,
that
so-
cottage folks have,
Yes.
but not typically apartments,
Apartments,
so
so
that's
it's-
another hybrid
Yeah,
piece.
exactly. So
Sure.
that's kind of why we call them hybrids.
Okay, great question, thank you.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Okay, we're down to Ken.
Ken!
Oh, it's gonna go downhill from here.
Well, we were counting on that.
I have always appreciated the wit and wisdom of Mark Twain.
Mark Twain.
Samuel
yes.
Clemens, yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody's read something by Mark Twain, and you maybe have heard some of these, or maybe you've not, but we're looking for wisdom in these times anywhere we can find it.
Amen to that.
Yep. Concerning the difference between man and jackass, some observers hold that there isn't any, but this wrongs the jackass.
Boy, you started out pretty
Yeah,
much
wow.
there.
Well, he's a
Wow.
he's a man of the dirt, man of the land. If you pick up a starving dog and make him prosperous, he will not bite you. This is the principal difference between a dog and a man. He must have had a negative experience, is what
Must
I'm
have.
thinking.
Apparently. With the man or with the dog? I don't know.
I don't know. Familiarity breeds contempt and children. He's a very observant man.
Yes,
Wow.
apparently.
It's kind of like the Saturday night thing.
Yeah, yes it is. It is.
Lisa.
You ought never to sass old people unless they sass you first. So remember that. If you ever meet any older people here, okay?
Well, we don't have any of them here, so
Right,
we'll have to
so
look
we're
outside
safe.
the
And I'm
campus.
saying if you go out,
Yeah.
You should never do anything wicked and lay it on your brother when it is just as convenient to lay it on some other boy.
So what's the flip side of that? Is protect your brother, but don't worry about anybody else?
Kind of. Arguments are unsafe with wives because they examine them, but they do not examine compliments.
Oh. Oh.
Boy, that's deep.
Whew.
Yeah. You should try that at home.
Probably true.
Or maybe don't try that at home. I don't know.
Well, no, compliments are good.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
I have been an author for 20 years and asked for 55. At least he's honest. At least he's honest.
I've been an author for 20 years and asked for
55, yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
all right.
So he apparently got an earlier start on the one, yeah. I like this one. Do the right thing. It will gratify some people and astonish the rest.
Mm.
That's good. Yeah, it's very good.
Get your facts first, then you can distort them as you please. I like this one, and this is something my dad didn't teach me with these words, but it's the same principle. If it's your job to eat a frog, it's best to do it first thing in the morning. And if it's your job to eat 2 frogs, it's best to eat the biggest one first.
Oh.
So do your difficult tasks, do the ones you don't like
Yes.
first, get them over with. Like, that's why we do this show in the morning.
Very true.
I was going to say that's kind of like eating a meal.
Yeah.
You eat your food you don't like as much first,
Right,
right?
absolutely.
The healthy
That's true.
stuff, and then go for the other stuff afterwards,
Right.
right?
But I hope that nobody actually has to eat a frog, unless
No, I hope not.
it's frog legs. Those are pretty good, actually. But they taste like
Tastes
chicken.
like chicken.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. I like this one. If you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything.
That's a good one.
It is.
Amen to that
Yep.
one.
Clothes make the man. Naked people have little or no influence on society. Never put off until tomorrow what you can do the day after tomorrow.
That goes against the other one that I normally
It kind of,
do.
yeah. Be careful about reading health books. You could die of a misprint.
Oh. Oh.
Which would be really tragic, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would.
Now, some religious people would probably take exception to this, but
Oh.
I understand why he says it.
Yeah.
Go to heaven for the climate, go to hell for the company.
Oh.
I think what he's saying is that a lot of religious people aren't very interesting. He finds.
Oh, boring?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, Ken, I think I
Oh.
would echo everyone else's comments to say that that would not be the case with you.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
And hopefully you'll end up in heaven.
Okay, we see a little sort of an alternative side of Mark Twain. I thoroughly disapprove of duels. Remember that when you used to settle your arguments that way? If a man challenged me, I would take him kindly and forgivingly by the hand to a quiet place and kill him.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sure that was tongue in cheek.
I'm sure.
Yep. Part of the secret of success in life is to eat what you like and then let the food fight it out inside.
Oh.
Oh.
I think that really is appropriate.
I like
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead and go stop by the creamery. Yeah. Let your stomach fight it out. And last, it is good to obey all the rules when you're young, so you'll have the strength to break them when you're old.
Ah. That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Good one to end on.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Good stuff.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you,
really
Mark
good stuff.
Twain.
Yes, that's. You know, I'm trying to decide, which ones do I like best? The Mark Twain stuff,
Yeah.
or the other ones that you had from Yogi Berra, and
Yeah.
from who was the other one that you had? It was the
Will Rogers,
Yeah,
right?
Will Rogers.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
I kept saying I wanted to say Willie Nelson. I think I said that before. I don't know why.
How did we get it?
That's next week.
Next week, yeah, you
Right,
said that
right.
before, so
Yeah.
we'll do that next week. So, well, thank you, Ken. That's
You're
pretty cool.
welcome.
Those are fun to kind of listen to.
They are.
I'm not so sure how many of those we should really be following, but it's kind of it's
Gives
fun.
you something to think about.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
So good deal. Okay, Lisa. So do we have birthdays
We
today?
do. We have a lot. So I did
Wow,
it through
yeah.
next Tuesday because we don't think we'll plan on broadcasting again until middle of next week.
Okay.
So happy birthday today to Julia Hayworth and Julianne Wolford.
Oh, good. Happy birthday.
Yes. Tomorrow is Janice Park.
Okay.
Saturday we have Peggy Smith.
Okay.
Sunday we have Agnes Spagnola,
Spagnola. Mm-hmm.
Helen Boyer, Tom Burleson, Diana Cruz,
Wow.
Bob Cars,
Wow.
and Ruth Ann Tolman.
Woo,
There's a lot going on that day.
Yeah.
Yes.
4, 5, 6, I think. Is
We
what I
have
hear.
never had that many in one day,
That's a lot.
so that's pretty incredible. And then Monday of next week, Eugenia McRae and Dick Coe.
Okay.
And Tuesday is Bruce Schick.
Wow. Well, happy birthday to all those
Yeah.
folks. That's
Yeah.
a lot.
A lot
Wow.
of great birthdays.
Yeah. Okay.
And of course, we hope to be back next week in the multi-purpose room, so
Right.
we will see how that goes, and we'll keep you all posted on that.
Yeah, so and we're very excited. We're really hoping that that's going to work out.
We are.
Probably not going to be, if we aren't able to do it next week, it won't be because the multi-purpose room not being ready. It would be
Right,
because of
right.
1390 probably,
Correct.
but we're hoping. We're
Mhm.
hoping that they can get the part and get it fixed
Yep, yep.
by next week.
Mhm.
So next week, of course, is the week right before the 4th of
I
July.
know. We're
So
gonna be in
it's
July
hard
next
to
week.
believe. And we're going to be halfway through our calendar year next week.
Unbelievable.
It's just amazing.
Wow.
So, well, Lisa, I have an oldie but a goodie joke to end with
Okay.
here. So, an elderly man in Florida had owned a large farm. Oh my! Had owned a large farm for several years. He had a large pond in the back. It was properly shaped for swimming, so he fixed it up nice with picnic tables, horseshoe courts, and some orange and lime trees. One evening, the old farmer decided to go down to the pond, as he hadn't been there for a while, and look it over. He grabbed a 5-gallon bucket to bring back some fruit. As he neared the pond, he heard voices shouting and laughing with glee. As he came closer, he saw it was a bunch of young women skinny dipping in his pond. He made the women aware of his presence, and they all went to the deep end. One of the women shouted to him, "We're not coming out until you leave." The old man frowned. "Well, I didn't come down here to watch you ladies swim naked or make you get out of the pond naked." Holding the bucket up, he said, "I'm here to feed the alligator." Some old men can think pretty fast, can't they?
Oh.
Yeah, that would get me out of the
Yeah, it
pond,
sure
I think.
would.
So.
Wow.
Well, we'll end with that, Ken, unless you have any other words of wisdom.
See you next time.
So, we love you all. We won't be seeing you tomorrow, so have a great weekend, and we'll see you sometime next week.
Adios.